Hello, my name is Dean Contover. This is the Current Buzz. Let's get down to it today. We have Mr. Kevin Coughlin. He's the president of Lowell Charities, and that's why we have him in here today to talk about Lowell Charities. And we appreciate you coming with us. I see you have your button on.
I do.
So we're going to talk about Lowell Charities. If you are new to Merrimack Valley, Greater Lowell, Lowell Charities has been going on for how many years now?
Since 1988.
1988. So Lowell Sun is a newspaper. You remember those things, newspapers, you used to read them and so forth. They're still out there, and we should support all our local newspapers. But Lowell Sun Charities is a spin-off of the Lowell Sun. They started this Lowell Sun Charities, and it's about giving to the community in Greater Lowell. Am I correct?
Correct. Actually, we cover 23 communities now in the region. And since 1988, we've had a history of distributing to families and people in need with a series of partners in the area. And we still continue that tradition today. And we're very pleased that every person who has made a request to the Sun Santa Fund, which is the public charity, gets answered. There isn't anyone that gets turned away in some sort. So we have two major partners. One is Salvation Army, and the other one is Community Teamwork in Lowell. And we use them to fashion who is eligible and to help distribute. And we really value them as partners because they themselves do their own fundraising, and they provide, right now, in fact, the Salvation Army is doing a major drive. You see them at all the market baskets, right? Collecting funds and all.
They ring the bell.
They ring the bell.
And don't forget to give.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And a great organization. So we really all work together and we supplement them. And over a period of years, we've given well over millions of dollars out back into the community. And we're a small organization. We don't have a lot of overhead. We don't even have office space that we pay for. This is all mobile, and the money goes right back out into the community.
You're mobile right here in the studio.
Absolutely.
In regards to who gives to the charity? I mean, it's a charity, right?
It is a charity. It's a 501c3. It's 100% tax deductible, and both corporations and individuals give to the charity. We have, for instance, this afternoon, Lowell General Hospital has a major basket drive and fundraising drive. Every year they are one of our largest companies and workforces. They get everybody involved. All the departments compete against each other with baskets to raise money for people coming in and employees.
Now, when you say baskets, is it baskets that they come into an auditorium and they buy a basket, or they bid?
They bid. They put chances in. It's like you buy chances, and then you go in and you put it in front of the basket that you like. All of that, but they have been one of our largest donors forever in their workforce, and they ought to be congratulated with that. Other companies. Good companies that work in Chelmsford, like Enterprise Bank, Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union, Trinity Ambulance, significant. So we have a large corporate presence that gives, but it's also humbling and inspiring too in what I do for the charities, because I see that the average citizen comes in. I had a Cambodian gentleman last night tell me about his son in a Tewksbury classroom that went in and made a suggestion with all his students. He's in, I think, the 3rd grade. That they collect, what do we do instead of presents for each other? Let's collect some money and give to the needy. And they made an agreement. They're going to raise among themselves some money for Sun Santa. So we're going to get a nice classroom having a good lesson in giving. We have a school that's incorporated that into the culture. And it's really inspirational to see that gets passed down to the next generation.
Isn't there a state rep in Westford who does baskets also?
Does. That's
What's his name?
one of the methods. So that's Representative Jim Arcero, who is a great person and a great representative. He represents
part of
Westford and Littleton and a piece of Chelmsford. In addition to that, another person just had a large fundraiser, former State Senator Steve Panagiotakis, at a very successful event.
Yeah, tell me how that works. how he he's been doing that since he's a former state senator,
Yeah.
and now he's still involved with this.
So it's a great story. Right. He himself is a wonderful human being, him personally as well as professional life. He was progressed through elected office in the Greater Lowell area to become the chairman of the Senate Ways and Means Committee.
Right.
He has been out of office now for several years, but he has maintained this link almost from the beginning of the Sun Santa program to raise money. And he raised well over $20,000 last Friday night to give to the charity.
Right.
Every penny goes in.
You said that was a large amount from the year before?
Yeah, the year before, of course, we were in COVID lockdown, and people were concerned about gathering and all of that. So it was a significant boost on the cash donation side, and also people willing to come in person. It's really kind of interesting to compare year to year, and as everybody knows, we're all post-COVID now and how we calculate things, so it's a really good thing. But back to Jim Arcero, Representative Arcero, he has an event coming up the 11th of December. He has one at the Abbott School in Westford and one at the Littleton Police Station, all on Saturday.
Is this a drive-through thing, or is it like he used to have?
It's a drive and drop.
Drive and drop.
Yeah,
okay.
So there's no real congregating of people. If you have your mask, Littleton and Westford both have mask policies for contact. But if you wanted to stop your car and physically carry the toys over, we've done that. However, you could just pull up in your car and pop the trunk. Someone will take it out. You don't have to have any contact. We've really got the protocols down, we think well. He's had some good response from his communities as well. A lot larger companies like Amazon. It's a new donor this year in Littleton.
What about Red Hat?
Red Hat is right there, another returning donor with Dave Flanagan out there, excellent company. And
are you familiar with them?
Just purchased by IBM not too long ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Excellent, well-run company, top notch.
Yeah.
And they're a mainstay in Westford. So they've been donating for several years, and even during the COVID times when their employees weren't there, they continued to give. They really have a good corporate culture there. Talking to Dave Flanagan, who represents them, that Representative Arcero connected me with, they not only want to give cash, they want to give toys because they want their employees to share in the giving and feel good about the charity and what it does. So they actually, even though they had many employees that were remote, they had outside toy drops, and they had different ways that their employees could get involved. It was very good.
When you mean toys, does it also mean game toys like Monopoly and things like that?
All of those things, yes, all of those things. So what we find is that some people prefer to give a toy as opposed to give a cash donation. Some people give a cash donation and then they say, as long as I'm in the store, maybe I'll pick up something small. Give it to a kid, it's nice. And it's whatever someone wants to do in order to be in the spirit of giving.
Right.
And we distribute the toys as well to Representative Arcero has used Toys for Tots with the Marine Toy Giving program in the past.
He has that program in Westford that they also have baskets that you can bid on. And
correct. At the Italian Ivizi restaurant.
I thought it was the French.
No, it used to be the VFW, and it used to be but they've changed it the last 2 years. It's at the Italian Kitchen, Trattoria Ivizi, right by Burton's at the square by Market Basket in there.
Right, I know, in the center.
And they still have those baskets on display.
Where they used to call it the Four Corners many years ago.
Correct, yeah. So they have the baskets still up there over a period of time. They're going to be up until this Saturday, and anybody that wants to go in there. We had a very successful event on Thursday there.
I never heard from Jim. I mean, he never contacted me.
Yeah.
All right.
So it was very successful. Some individuals there, Dining for a Cause, Nancy Cook out in Westford. They were all, really responsible for what is a good tradition of. They do these beautiful, beautiful baskets, and there's there's probably 40 or 50 of them around.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
It's the same method. You buy the chances and put them in, and
Right,
then they do a draw.
And they pick it out of a brown paper bag, right?
Exactly.
And then they call your name and no one's there,
Yeah.
right?
You're
Because
right.
everybody's left,
You're right. You're right.
But no, but they'll call you. I mean, 'cause your
Absolutely.
phone
Yeah,
number
you
is
put your
there.
phone number on
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Everybody gets called. But
Yeah,
it's a beautiful. It's very good. I just mentioned one more thing, that one of the inspirational side of it is that, not unlike maybe the Salvation Army individuals that are with the, ringing the bell and the baskets, find that there are so many small donations by people, even people that don't have a lot, they're willing to give.
$5 and $10.
Come in all the time, yeah. And it's really, it tugs at your heartstrings, because you see people coming in, even at these events, they bring their children in, they have it as a learning moment. They come in, they have the child, give the
wow,
donation and
that's
all.
cool.
And it's really good. It's really good.
So you get money from everyone, right? And you give it out. How do you know who to give it to? Like you were talking about CTI, community
Right.
teamwork.
So you have,
They monitor that, or
they not only monitor it, they climb some legal hurdles for us too, because you've got this confidentiality of information.
Oh, I see.
And you want to make sure that the people who receive the gifts receive it and are treated with dignity, and at the same time protect the confidentiality of their financial situation.
I see.
So there
Good
was
point.
some legal hurdles that we had to do that. So that's why we reach out to Salvation Army and Community Teamwork, because they have many of these financial resources already in place that they protect, and they are actually using for the distribution of their own funds. So we piggyback on that, and then we provide vouchers to them, and they provide them to the recipients. So we are the collecting point for requests, and then we provide the list of those who have requested, and they go through the process of deciding eligibility, and then they give out the vouchers for them.
Do you give out turkeys, things like that? I mean,
No, at one time, they thought about doing that,
Yeah.
and they tried to do that, but because we have no staff, and because we give out a large amount of money, it became better for the recipients to give out vouchers, coupons, and now we give out a voucher, and they're able to take them to some of our partners, Rogers Toy in Lowell, Market Basket, and also Walmart in Tewksbury, because some vouchers are for toys because the children are on the application is being in need. The vouchers are also be able to, for food, if you have need food for your family, and then you can buy other things. The only restrictions we have, you can't buy cigarettes, you can't buy alcohol, can't buy lottery tickets, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can go to a Walmart and you can buy other things for your family, and you can make those decisions yourself. We just provide, the amount, and we want to just recognize also Rogers Toy in Lowell, longtime small business, and they made it through COVID. They're still down there. They've been a partner since the Sun Santa started.
Explain Rogers Toy to a lot of people who. It's on Market Street in downtown.
Yeah, right at the
Lowell.
corner. If everybody knows the old fire station, right at the intersection of Palmer and Middle Streets in Lowell, the cobblestoned area, they are right on Middle, right after the fire station. And they've been there as long as I've been around, so I don't know. Their father, I think, started it maybe going, and now the brother and sister run it. And they are very generous people. They've been able to survive all through COVID, not just on toys, but they also have branched a little bit. They sell pool supplies now, which keeps them going in the back. But extremely generous people, and they make it work. Whenever somebody comes in, they make it work.
If you're looking for unusual toys for your children, I think you should check that out.
Really unique, yeah. And they have the supplies in there, because we asked them, you're going to have trouble with supply chain with all of this coming in.
Yeah.
They had ordered early enough. They know what the demands are. So they're fully stocked. They're down there.
If you're looking for unusual toys that you may not get in your local store or
exactly
box stores or whatever they call it now, go down to Market Street.
And those games are good, like you mentioned Monopoly, but those board games, they're very popular because a lot of kids haven't seen them,
Oh,
So
that's a
they're
good
so
point.
unique.
Because usually it's tended to go electronics. And I would suggest for people to buy electronics, but things have changed now.
They
It's
have,
gone back to
yeah.
the board games.
Some of the parents like it because it makes people interact. They're not just on the phone by themselves doing the game. Now it makes 2 or 3 people have to have some fun and talk to each other. So parents are liking that better.
Oh, talking to each other?
Exactly.
Oh.
Having the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the Golden Gloves. I mean, we haven't covered that. That's part of the umbrella. Explain the Golden Gloves for somebody new to the Merrimack Valley or new to Massachusetts or New England, for that matter.
New England. So this is the proud 75th year, the anniversary of the Golden Gloves in Lowell. And this is a tradition that goes back to the earliest pieces of the newspaper and also to the history of the city. And the boxing came out of Lowell like any manufacturing city. I'd compare it to Portland, Maine, Burlington, Vermont, Hartford, Connecticut, Lawrence. The population was such that you had these local gyms that became very important in people's lives.
Like the West End Gym.
West End Gym, Arthur Ramallo, an icon in the boxing industry who unfortunately has passed away. But what you see, I think, with that is a common thread. You had individuals that made a difference in people's lives, just like Boys and Girls Club and whatever. But these gyms developed, and they decided to formalize it, and boxing became a competitive spirit. And many people in Lowell remember names like Sugar Ray Leonard or Marvin Hagler from Brockton.
Rocky Marciano.
Marciano, they all boxed in Lowell. They all came up and boxed here. It's amazing. And this is the 75th anniversary. The first and opening night this year will be on January 13. It's a Thursday.
2022.
2022.
Just want to put it on the record.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's going to be for 9 consecutive Thursdays going forward, so it'll be January and February, the first week of March. It's going to end the week just prior to St. Patrick's Day. And
St. Patrick's Day already into March now.
The last one is the week before St. Patrick's Day.
I see.
And we're going to have a big opening night because it's the 75th anniversary. We're going to be at the Lowell Auditorium a little bit early. The boxing starts at 7. We're going to be there at 6 and have opening ceremonies.
Oh.
Have some.
Are you going to have food there?
We're going to have some food. You're invited. Come on down, and we could do a little remote from there. But we're going to try and have the names and the history, the institutional memory recognized for the 75 years.
So you're going to have former boxers come into the ring and
we are indeed,
introduce them, and et cetera.
And our co-chair for that opening event is Mickey Ward, of course, who's well known here, you know. And
I know Mickey Ward.
No better role model for perseverance and honesty, and
he has a foundation.
He does indeed.
So explain how it's set up. Every Thursday you have novice, and then you have the regular boxes. Explain what novice is.
So our events are managed by a fellow by the name of Bob Russo, who comes out of Portland, Maine.
Okay.
And he has a gym and he operates boxing organizations up there. He not only is the major person that organizes and runs our Golden Gloves here, he is also the national president of USA Boxing.
Wow.
And they are celebrating their 100th anniversary in Chicago this year, and he's officiating at that as the national president.
Oh, wow.
So he has sanctioned all of these boxing matches. They all come to the boxing standards. And he organizes starting with the basic, elimination matches, and then it builds into that ninth week for semifinals and finals. So the best boxers are in March. The novices, as you mentioned, are in January, and they start.
So when you finish in the finals, you're crowned as the champ in weight classes.
Correct.
Right, and then there's international, and then there's national Golden Gloves, which is usually in some city in the Midwest or the West.
Right.
Lowell had the nationals maybe 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Are we going to look into that?
Well, that's
Are
a
we gonna
goal.
have
We've set that as the primary goal.
Good.
And we've discussed that at some of our organizational meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a small group of very knowledgeable boxing people headed by Bob Russo
Mm-hmm.
that we'd like to make a formal application from Lowell for that and try and have that, see if,
Would that be in the Songus Arena, seeing that you'd have to have 3 or 4 rings going at the same time?
Probably,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, probably.
I think that
most
would be
likely.
great. I mean, that would put...
It'd be great for the city.
Yeah, it would be. Because people don't remember 30 years ago. I don't remember the specific date, but I remember going to see that because it was nationals, and some of the best fighters in the country came to Lowell.
Absolutely. And even now, because it's a New England region, that boxes,
Right.
we have people that come down from Burlington, Vermont. They come down
To
from
box in the Golden Gloves.
the box here in Lowell.
Yeah.
And that's there. And they come up from Hartford. They come from, other cities.
If you're interested in seeing boxing, and it's amateur boxing, right?
Amateur USA boxing, yes.
Amateur USA Boxing in Lowell, Massachusetts. Look it up online. You could buy season tickets. You could buy single tickets, right?
Yes.
It helps the Lowell Sun Charity also.
Absolutely.
So definitely go down and see it. I mean, if you've never been to a boxing match, this is the time because it's in your locality. And it's an interesting take. You might like it, you may not like it, but try it. That's what I told my daughter. Try something. If you don't like it, then fine, move on.
So one comment, and that's very good, what you had stated. Two pieces that come to mind. One is it's amazing how popular boxing has become with women.
Back again?
With women. It's coming back with women.
Oh, that's right. You have women boxers. That's right.
And interestingly enough, as many people that may have grown up not really knowing boxing and whatnot, they might be a little bit afraid of, the concussion, the head, that kind of stuff. But there's so many females, and there's some female entrepreneurs that have started boxing gyms, not for the aggression of hitting in the head, but for building confidence in females like, say, 16 to 30, in how to handle themselves if they're walking back to their car and something happens. They don't just freeze, but they've got this self-confidence to be able to do something. So like a self-defense and confidence building. So that's an offshoot of boxing that's taking place right now.
Oh, that's a good point.
The second piece of that is that the development of the boxers themselves still has this piece of trying to develop values and good morals and ethics in the athletes, because boxing, you have to be a good athlete. You got to be in good shape.
Yeah, you do.
And they are developing these, good traits, just like the old days with Boys and Girls Clubs or things. They're developing, how do you get ticked off at somebody, but how do you deal with it? How do you be a team player? How do you carry yourself well and develop yourself as a good sportsman? And we see many police departments now going back. It's like history repeating itself. They're developing these police athletic leagues, and they're using wrestling and boxing, both for female and for male, to really reach out and connect with a lot of youth in the area. So
what I'd like to see is boxing, because the NCAA has boxing. Right. And I'd like to see that at University of Lowell. That would be interesting. Because
it's a key to it. Some colleges have that. It's become very popular. And you're going to see us in 2022 approach the university as well as Middlesex Community College to see if we can have a connection there and try and set that up.
Wow, that's interesting because, I've been saying that for a long time. Why not have boxing at the University of Lowell? I mean, this is Lowell.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who follow boxing. Absolutely. So, I mean, why not do that? I think it's great.
Yeah. And the training,
We're breaking news. Is that what we're doing here?
I think you could be doing that. I think you could. It's
we have 30 seconds.
Boxers are good athletes. It's all part of a good training program, and all of that benefits all the way.